And hello, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New
Woo!
Year.
The
Woo!
fireworks are going off on the fake screen behind me here. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the Calgary Real Estate Show. And for the first time, streaming on X, formerly Twitter. So we're streaming on Twitter today. We're on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. And exciting day. We've got some new stats we're going to be sharing with you. And then revamped monthly package, which I've been working on. So yeah, super excited to get going with everything today. Jaden, we noticed a little bit of a change in your title there. Tell us about real quick about BRX Mortgage.
Yeah, January 22nd, I made the move over. Really love my Avenue Financial people and TMG. They were great to me, but just some things in the background in terms of I'm a dedicated Finmo user. I think it makes it easier for my clients to input their data and get me their paperwork and everything like that. Super secure system. Just didn't really work. There's a difference in the way that they use their systems, and like my goal is always to make things as smooth as possible for me so that I can make it as smooth as possible for you and everybody else. And my realtors here for me on time and my clients here for me on time and things like that. So yeah, it's a great forward thinking company and really looking forward to working with them going forward.
That's awesome.
It just kind of sounds a little bit similar to eXp Realty with lots of technology and fantastic tools for the agents.
Absolutely, and yeah, they're looking to help me build my business and help me help other brokers build their businesses as well. So, really great training. If you're watching this as somebody who might want to become a mortgage broker, give me a call because BRX has really phenomenal training, industry leading. So yeah, really, it's gonna make our things BRX EXP work way better together.
Yes,
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, so big change for the new year. So as we've been going through this over the past however many years, we've always focused on detached stats, and that has left some people out. So we said, no, let's just show the weekly stats for all the segments. So this is now brand new as of the new year. So detached, semi-detached, row townhouse, and apartment stats. So that's all combined into one here. And there's some wild stats here that I'm just going to focus on for a quick second, a hot minute. So you can notice, look at the new listings. Not surprisingly, the week between Christmas and New Year's, very few new listings. This is for all segments again, all segments. Only 164 came on the market. The actual week of Christmas, only 136. I'm surprised it wasn't zero. And you can see how if you roll back to the end of November, early December, it was a lot bigger, obviously, which makes sense. And the same thing happened on the sold side of things with all these segments. Massive uptick there in the 2 weeks leading up to Christmas, and then Christmas to New Year's, only 199 sales. But look at the sale to new listing ratio, still really high. Outside of those the last week of November and the first week of December there, first 2 weeks of December. And pendings, again, not a big surprise. And these are weekly stats, so we don't put a lot of stock in them, but it's kind of fun to track. But look at the pendings there, the second week of December and the third week of December, massive pending numbers. And then days on market, not surprisingly, went up a little bit over the previous few weeks. And then active and pending. So this is now the actual picture of what is available on the market. A pending is technically available because you can write a backup offer on it if the seller is open to that. Only 2,185 active and pending listings across all segments in Calgary this past week, which is absolutely nuts.
Crazy.
All right. Back here, Natalie.
All right, let's look at the time machine. So last year, this time, we were at 100 and I think never mind. I'm going on. Your dates are weird. Total sales last year was 165. This year, 194, so up almost 18%. New listings last year, 169. This year, 167, so pretty negligible, really. Actives last year, 2242. This year, 2191, so down 2 and a bit percent. Average days on market. This is a big one. 47 days last year, 39 this year, so down 17%. And we have seen that number climbing in the last couple of weeks for sure, but it's still a pretty decent time frame when you're considering the condition period and that kind of thing. So
yeah, for sure. And look at the pendings there too, this year versus last year. And remember last year we were in a bit of a lull. We kind of went through a bit of a dip in the fall period. So very interesting always to look back a year. Jayden, tell us, the new year and the rates are dropping, right?
Yeah, well, slightly. It's not, you're not seeing anything. Yeah, you're not seeing anything yet. There's, 0.1% off the fixed high ratio, things like that. Very, very slight drops. I think it's going to come by the end of the month. I'm seeing like kind of little drops here and there, but the bond market continues to be very, very weak and weakening further and further. And so there's a big gap there for them to start lowering those rates. But we just looked at those numbers. Why the heck would they do that when there's nothing on the market? And I think this kind of time of year, we're seeing a lot of that. Probably same thing. We only look at the Calgary market, but we're probably seeing that in Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Red Deer, all of these places, right? So, there's not really a lot of incentive to be aggressive with lowering rates right now. I think most lenders kind of want to, that one or two that's coming in right now, they can just kind of reel them in and get a little bit of a higher rate. They're happy with that. Really, things will start picking up, February to March. So I think kind of end of January, end of this month, we'll start to see some more movement and then really, really push into that spring market.
Right.
All right. Sounds good. And we will update that logo for next week.
We will. Yes. I will. Yeah.
To BRX. Awesome. Natalie, tell us some design trends, and I hope this isn't it for 2020.
This is not it. Please don't do this. This is my grandmother's house. So we're talking design trends for 2024. So one, they're talking about, a lot of this has to do with color and finishes. So it's not necessarily wall color. It's like your decor, your furniture, all that kind of stuff. So for example, stone fruit colors, that peach and apricot, it's really taking off right now, which looks quite lovely with this. It's just a little slipper chair. It's velvet, lovely. That's so metal. So they are seeing a very, very high trend in going back into chrome and mirror and aluminum finishes, which is sort of crazy to me, but you're still mixing it with like the brushed gold and that kind of thing. So for example, this is a mirrored table. That literally would be my nightmare, trying to keep that thing clean. But if you don't have anybody in there, you're fine. The next is dark and deep jewel tones. So again, this is an aftershot of COVID. Right? Everybody went from the more like the neutrals and the grays and the whites and everything. Now people want some life in their houses. So they're going with something that's got a little more drama to it. And the new romantics. I know this is your living nightmare here, Mark, but it is quite, he's like, no comment. This is back to like the 19th century, and it's actually mixing old with new. So you've got an antique table and chairs in there. You've got the beautiful wallpaper, quite frankly. It's like a tapestry. It's quite pretty, but it's just adding a little bit of softness and a little bit of romance into your everyday life. And that's all I've got this week.
There you go. All right, so let's roll through our December 2023 market recap. Now, you might be wondering, when are we going to do the full year recap? If we did it all today, it would take us half an hour. So we'll do that next week. We'll recap 2023 next week. But there you can see overall the benchmark price went up 10.4%. Sales are up 13.8% in the month of December. New listings up 21%. Inventory, though, still down. I mean, slightly, let's call it flat. So that gap has closed. We talked about the gap. The gap a few months ago was 35%, and now that gap is really closed. But look at the total inventory. Talking about 2,164 units on the market in December. Mm-hmm. Again, that is just so low. Look at the months of supply, 1.58. So if you've never watched this before, months of supply, if no new homes get listed, how long would it take based on the current sales volume or sales activity to eat up that supply? And that's 1.58. Tells us whether we're in a seller's or buyer's market or balanced. Very much sellers still. Days on market overall was at 33. But let's delve into this. I know this is a lot of data on the screen. I've been trying to come up with a way to kind of give you kind of a concise, and this is concise. So if you want to pause this when you're watching it back later, please feel free to do that. The bold are kind of the highlights. So if we look at detached, Sales were down 3%. Inventory was down 4% in December, and then pricing was still up 13% year over year to 697.4. Semi-detached sales are actually up 33%. Inventory was down 19%, and then our pricing went up 12% to 627.1. Row townhouses, sales up 35%. Inventory was up 3%. And then our pricing there up 20% year over year to 425.1. I was seeing some people on Ask Calgary today talking about their assessments they're receiving in the mail. They're talking about 30 and 40% increases in their assessed value. And this is why, right? Apartments, 28% up in sales, which is huge. And then we had, inventory was up 4%. Pricing was up 19% for apartment condos in the month of December to 321.4. There you see the overalls, which we went through in the previous screen. So let's scroll through our other markets. We're going to really just highlight pricing here on these bedroom communities. So on the detached side of things, in Airdrie, prices up 12% in December to 610.7. Semi-detached up 13% to 478.5. And row town. Why do I keep saying row apartments? Row townhouses up 17% to 359.9. Apartments up 28% in Airdrie in the month of December to 269.6. And then in Cochrane, we've been watching Cochrane because it's such an interesting market. They've just seen, I think, a lot of dipping over the past, let's call it 6 months. And we're seeing that in the December stats. But if you look at the pricing, it still went up. So detached homes went up to 9% to 635. Semi-detached up 11% to 476.4. Row townhouses up 10% to 413.9. And apartments up 9% to 280,700. And then finally in Okotoks, and this again, a very small market. So the stats, look at the actual sales, 19, 3, 7. So we call that a little bit of unreliable data, but at the same time, they still can put together benchmark prices, and they all went up as well. 625.6, a 9% increase on the detached side, 16% up on the semi-detached side to 544.4, 15% up on the row townhouse side to 390,900, and then 7% up on the apartment condo side of things to 250,900. Look at some of those inventory levels there in the middle of this chart, like massive. And again, there's not a lot of data here, but there's, if you look at the inventory, it's only down 4% over last year, but the sales to new listing ratio is like 700% on row townhouses, like crazy stuff like that. So that is the December market recap. And then, kind of as we look forward, we'll do a little bit more of this next week. But, I think as interest rates still creep lower, if our sales were up and sales were down slightly for the year, so we'll get more into that next week. But overall, they're still way above historical averages. So if that continues, people continue to move here. There's still jobs here. I think we're going to continue to see the trend of, high sales, price increases over the course of 2024. Natalie, what do you think?
I second that whole thing. Like our friend said, it's going to be like Boxing Day in Best Buy.
Yeah.
With interest rates going down, because people just want to get in, right? They want to get in before the rates go up and up and up, or the pricing goes up and up and up. So
yeah, absolutely.
Now's the time.
Yeah. So Jayden, you just need to get us a few lower interest rates, and then we'll be off to the races.
Yeah,
it's coming, and it's definitely coming. And this is what I'm telling my clients now that are out looking and buying. The more you can push out the possession date, if it works for you, the better chance you have. Because if I lock you into that interest rate today, it doesn't get locked in until you sign with the lawyer 3 to 5 days before you actually take possession. So we have the opportunity to lower that down. So if you can push that out, push it out as far as you can, because interest rates are coming down.
Interesting. Or just go variable.
Yeah, absolutely. Either or.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for watching either live or later on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, even on X today. And next week, we're going to recap all of 2023 for you, and we will see you then. Have a good week, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.